we're going to sit cross-legged in our Sukhasana, easy pose. Easy pose because this is the start of what I consider always quite a hard class. I don't know, I know Ali likes core classes, but I don't know how many people really enjoy core work. It's, as we get older, probably the bit of us that goes first is the middle of us. So just to focus on the core before we begin, we're going to look at what our core is in our breath practice. So it's just inhale, exhale for 4, and as I say the next words, you'll be moving your hands to a different part of your body and thinking about all the time breathing into the palms. So moving the body, moving the breath into the body and moving the palms as you do it. So we're going to start, just close your eyes, have a couple of breaths just to see where your breath is. Without controlling it, just notice. Notice how deep it is, where it goes to in your body at the moment. How fast it is, how slow it is, that sort of thing. Just be aware of how it's breathing for you. And then take control of the breath now. And take a couple of inhale, exhales. Moving up to a count of 4. You're 4. Nice and slow, nice and smooth. Continual flow from inhale to exhale to inhale. And think about where the breath is going now as you direct it. So think about moving your crown up, lifting up through your heart, rolling your shoulders back gently onto the back of your body, opening up your front body so that there's a much more direct route for the breath now. Find the sit bones, find the tummy, and then take your hands and place them up at the top of your chest. If you can, pop your thumbs onto your collarbone, take them up as high as you can, your hands. Doesn't matter about fingers touching or crossing or whatever, just place them in that area and then breathe in for 4, exhale for 4, into your hands. Take another breath as I direct you. The next time we're going to move the hands down to the lower ribs. And then take control of the breath again if you've let go. Inhale, exhale for 4, into your hands again at your lower ribs. And then when you're ready, we're going to take the hands down now to the side of the waist. So clasp the side of your waists in your palms. And then move the breath to the side of your waist, your right side, your left side, moving into your hands as you inhale. Might do a couple of breaths at each one. Don't get too caught up in all the number of breaths we're doing. Just think of focusing and moving the breath into your palms and feeling the movement as it then comes out of you, the breath, and everything sinks inwards. And then take your hands onto your tummy or just below your belly button. Breathe into that area, into your palms. Feel the swell of your belly this time and the softening. Maybe feeling the breath is going much deeper now. And then take your hands round the back of your body. Just place them just above your glutes, so your fingers are on your glutes. Try and breathe into the back of your body. It's probably the most difficult part to feel. Try and move in little tiny movements as you breathe into the bottom. As you take the breath down to your abdominal region again. And then take your hands and just place them on your knees And think about the next time you breathe in of trying to fill the whole of your body from your collarbones right down to your belly. And exhaling, letting it all soften. Feeling all that movement as we breathe in again. Opening up chest, ribs, side body, back of the body, belly, and then exhaling and softening, letting them all draw back to center. Find that center point on the exhale. Take a couple of more breaths, focusing on the movement outwards and inwards, focusing on all the little muscles that are moving, all the joints, all the bones, tissue. To accept the breath and to release the breath. And then let go of the control. Flicker your eyes open. Just take a moment here to feel any change in your body. So all those parts of us that we've just touched are the core. I think when we think of working the core, we tend to think of this six-pack thing that people go on about. Your core moves from your shoulders right down to the hip hinges, right round your body. You all know a lot of this. I am going back over old stuff often with you, but it's just to remind us that when we worry about things like exercising our core, we haven't always got a handle on what we're really worrying about. So the idea in this class is to try and find the whole of the core. And as we do these movements and poses, try and move the load, shift the load. So we're working on Dvesha, which is avoidance at all costs. It's not just dislike, it is avoidance of things that we have attached a big cloud to, basically. And again, avidya, our clear vision, our lack of clarity, comes into it. So we'll go into that a little bit more as we go through it. Okay, so we're going to come down onto our backs and start moving. First thing to notice as we come onto our backs, for some of you, the breathing practice may be the part that you always think, come on, hurry up, I need to move on. Slight dislike there, but why have you attached that dislike to it? Try and flip it and see what the benefits are in these situations. Is where we're coming from. Okay, so we're on our back. We've got our knees bent. We're bringing them up one by one into reverse tabletop, and we're going to take a little few toe taps. So first of all, switch on the core. So draw the tummy in, navel comes down towards your spine, but then switch on up to your shoulders. Try and feel that point, that center point again. Draw everything in, switch on the whole core, and then start to toe tap. Right foot to the floor, knee still bent, left foot to the floor. So we're really just hinging at the hip joints. Nothing else is moving, but everything else is working. You can let go of your arms, you can let go of your teeth, you can let go of your forehead. Try and keep the core, the whole load spread across the core, rather than just thinking of that abdominal region as we continue to toe tap here. And then bring the feet to the floor. I'm going to take a couple of roll ups now from the top. So feet still bent, knees still bent, rather, feet on the floor is the easier option. Anyone that wants to go for it, straighten the legs, but I'm not ready for that myself yet. Pop the hands behind the head, clasp them gently. Try and not force your head forward with your hands. Try and think of your head going back into your hands. Switch on the core again, and then we're just going to gently tuck the chin and roll up to look towards our knees. And gently roll back down. Think of the spine moving here. Thinking using the muscles from the bottom of your core upwards. So lifting from the bottom of the core rather than pushing through your shoulders and through your neck. So tuck the chin, but draw in through the tummy and roll up from the bottom of your spine. One more. and release. I'm going to take a couple of bridge rolls now. Take your heels in as close to your bottom as you can, so that your knees are over your ankles, remember? And then we're doing that little pelvic tilt on the exhale before we move up. So just practice the pelvic tilt. Again, a part of your core. Just tucking your pubic bone and your pelvic bones up towards your navel. Tiny little rocking through the base of the core there. Okay, so we breathe in. On the exhale, we pelvic tilt. And then on the next inhale, we gently push through the feet, roll up, opening up the front of the body, lifting up through the core, the whole of the core, and then gently rolling back down. We take 2 more roll-ups in your own time. Think about switching on everything to help here. Makes it so much easier when you spread the load. And 1 more bridge roll in your own time. Spread the weight into the feet, lift the thighs, squeeze the glutes, draw the tummy in, move the heart forward, and then gently roll back down, holding onto the core from collarbone to sit bone as you come back down to the floor. And then stretch the legs away from you, and then roll onto your tummy. So come to facing the floor. Okay, so on the floor here, we're going to come into Cobra. So pop your hands under your shoulders, head facing down, forehead on the floor to start. So we've got that chin tucked and we've got the long back of the neck. Now find your core before we move into Cobra. So engage the shoulders by squeezing that little spot between your shoulder blades. Lift the tummy off the floor. Draw in your side bodies if you can. Find your waist. See if you can switch them on. Find that space between your ribs and pelvis. Try and switch it on too. And then we're going to gently squeeze the elbows towards us. Draw the shoulder blades together and start to roll up gently into just a very baby cobra. So the back of the body is really working here. See if the front of the body can help too by keeping the tummy engaged, keeping the side body engaged. Just do a few cobra roll-ups, drawing the shoulders down the back of the body. Feel the muscles all contract there and feel the muscles in the front of the body open. And even those that are opening are having to work. They're having to do it at a pace. They can't just let go. Just slowly, easefully squeezing the elbows still towards the body as you come up and down in Cobra. You're switching on the back body here, but as I say, you have to think about the front body here too. Bring your head to the floor, take your hands under your head, just have a moment there to release your back body. And then we're going to think about the side of the core again here by popping the hands under the shoulders. Head still nice long back of the neck, chin tucked. Draw up into Cobra. Baby Cobra is fine. Hold. Take your weight more into your left hand. Push into your right hand. Start to open out the elbow there and twist to look towards the right side. And then release, come back, stay in your baby cobra, move into the right hand, open up the left arm, look towards the left. Try and keep the pubic bones on the floor, the pelvic bones rather on the floor as you do another couple of those on the right and left. Noticing your back body and all the contractions going on there. But notice what else you're having to use here. Side body, collarbones, not just the six pack. One more on the left and then bring yourself carefully to the floor and pop your head On your hands again for a moment, just to release everything off. And I'm at the wrong end of a mat now, so now we're going to come up into tabletop. So gently, when you're ready, press up and come up into tabletop. The back of your body is still feeling tight. You might want to just come back into a few cat-cow rolls. It's always good for releasing off anything that's holding on just before we move on. Okay, so we're going to take a little flow here on the floor. We're going to work on the core, obviously. Some of it's quite strong, the likes of plank. It may already make you think, I don't like that. Have a thought first why you don't like that. And have a thought about how you can still adjust. So that's why we have modifications. You're still able to do it. So don't find that you dislike it so much that you don't do it. So one point is here that instead of doing plank, you can do half plank, and we're going to do side plank. If you're in full plank, we would just roll up to side plank. If we're in half plank, you want to take your right knee, if you're rolling this way, your right knee would have to come off as if you were doing gate, and then roll up to side plank. If that's too strong, you can come down to the floor and just do a sort of side sphinx. But if you're doing side plank to half plank to side plank, please remember to move that leg off the floor, because otherwise you'll be twisting your knee. Okay, so let's go. We're in tabletop. We're going to draw the right leg up behind us, flex the foot up towards the ceiling, 3 leg lifts, squeezing the glutes. Stop, hold. Twice more, 1, 2, 3, hold. 1, 2, 3. Release the knee down and then draw it towards your nose. So your right knee is coming up towards your nose. You're moving into a cat back, taking the leg back up, bringing it back towards your nose, engaging the tummy muscles, but engaging the whole of the front body as it contracts if you can. And then we're coming back down to the tabletop. We're taking our right leg out behind us then. We're taking our left hand in front of us. If both are too strong for you, do one or the other. So we're stretching them along the floor to start with. Find the hinge at the top of the shoulder. Find the hinge at the back of the glute where the hamstring meets, and lift and make a nice long line, reaching through your middle finger, reaching through your big back toe, balancing, hips still square to the floor, draw the tummy up, squeeze the shoulder blades, and release. Then we're coming into plank. So plank or half plank, draw back into plank or stay half plank on your knees and hold. So while we're holding here in a position that most people are thinking, oh no, draw your heels back. Think about what you're doing here. Take your mind off that dislike. Lift your tummies, draw your shoulder blades together, tuck your chin, same points as always. Spread your palms on the floor. If your weight's moving too strongly into your wrists, move the heels back, spread the load. Hold. Release the knees to the floor if you're in full plank. Sit back into child's pose, have a little bit of a stretch out. Come forward again to tabletop. Take that again. So we're starting with the leg lifts on the left side this time. So left leg comes up, flex the foot, 3 times 3 lifts in your own time. Squeezing the left glute, switch on the back of the body. Part of your core, remember. And then draw the knee to nose when you've done your 3 leg lifts. And 3, knee to nose, back up, knee to nose, contracting the front body, contracting the back body. So it's kind of cat-cow you're doing here in the knee to nose. Knee comes to the floor. We're taking the left leg back this time, right hand forward, reaching along the floor first of all, finding the hip hinge and the shoulder hinge, and then lifting and holding. Reach through your middle finger, reach through your big back toe. Lift your tummy away from the floor. Notice if your hips have twisted, try and square your pelvic bones towards the floor. Notice if your chin's not still tucked and you've not got the long back of the neck. And then release. We're coming back into plank or half plank. Roll the feet back if you're in full plank. Lift the tummy. Move the heart a little bit further forward between your shoulder blades if you can. Keep the chin tucked. Really zip up the front body. And then release the knees if you're not already on your knees. Come back to child's pose, have a bit of a stretch out. So, is your mind already racing ahead? Are you already thinking, oh, how many more of these have we got to do? I know I would be. I'm doing Joe Wicks at the moment, and I think that every day that we do him. So we all have these dislikes, and we have to power through them sometimes. But if we break them down, and we realise it's not the pose that's the problem, it's our resistance to it. We can always do these things. I'm not asking you to do anything that you can't. Okay, so back up to tabletop. We'll take that again. So leg lift right. 1, 2, 3. Try not to rush them too much. Squeeze your glute as you lift. And then draw the knee to nose into cat back. And take the leg back up, flexed foot, and lift up into cow. Make it a little bit bigger this time. Really get engaged now you know what you're doing. It's not so scary then. Lift. One more. Take the right leg out behind you, take the left hand out in front of you, switch on the back body, lift, hold and breathe. Think of all the points that we've gone over, try and reflect on them rather than the fact you don't want to be here. And then release the hand down, the leg down, coming into our plank or half plank. This time we're going to roll over, my hands are going to slip, and come into side plank. So if you're on your knees, remember to turn your leg out. Otherwise, just roll round through your feet. Open up. If you can, lift your hand up above your head. Stack the feet if you can. Otherwise, keep your left foot on the floor as well. Shoulder over wrist over elbow. Really important. Hold. Lift your side body a little bit higher. And then release. Carefully rolling back down. Onto your knees, everybody. Sink back into child's pose. Take a couple of breaths. Back up, same thing. Left side. Switch on the front body. Switch on the back body. Lift the back leg, the left leg, sorry. Flex the foot, leg lifts. Try and put a little bit more effort into it now. Squeezing the glutes a little bit harder. Lifting the foot a little bit higher. After the third one, knee to nose, into a big cat back, flex the foot, lift it up into your cow back, really move the heart forward. Knee to nose, flex the foot, lift, move the heart. I think I've got one more, I'm not sure, I'm going to do another one. Lift, coming into our no extension, left leg behind, right leg in front, right hand in front, and lift, switch on the back body, contract, and then extend. Draw up the tummy. Push into that hand that's on the floor, lift up a little bit higher. Feel the collarbone then get involved. And then release the hand and knee, coming into plank or half plank, And we're taking our side plank then, so be prepared to move the legs whichever way. And roll open into side plank to your left hand is underneath you now. Reach up through the waist, lift up the side body, stack the feet, stack the shoulders, elbow, wrist, and release. Back to the floor, back to child's pose, take a couple of breaths. While I remember where we're going now. And then we're moving forward and we're tucking our toes, everybody, and we're lifting, rolling up into down dog. If you'd rather not come up into down dog, you can stay here in tabletop. I'm going to do a few more leg lifts. So, if you've got slippy hands like me, this can be a bit dangerous. Okay, so lift the right leg first. So you're up in the ball of the foot of the left foot now. You're really raising up high on that left foot. Flexing the back leg, flexing the right leg. And we're taking our leg lifts again. So lift, squeezing the butt. Draw the tummy in. 3 leg lifts 3 times. And then knees to nose. Bring the knee in. Back up. Remember, you can do this in tabletop. Knee in, cat back and down dog. Cats and dogs do work. Lift up into cow. 1 more knee to nose. And then foot comes to the floor. Take it on the other side. So left leg comes up. You're up in the ball of the right foot if you're in down dog. Lift the flex the foot. 3 leg lifts 3 times. Really feel the hip flexors opening and closing. And then knee to nose, lifting up into cat, moving out into cow. Contraction and opening. And then release the foot to the floor. If you can, if you're in tabletop, it's easy. Otherwise, move back and then bring your right foot forward and you're coming into low lunge. So drop your back knee. Everybody's in low lunge now. Switch on the tummy muscles, switch on the front body, lift it up off your thigh. Bring your right hand in onto the other side of your right foot. So it's on the inside of your right foot. Might need to come up onto your fingers. You might want to bring a brick in here if you need it. And then we're just going to twist and open like we did last night. So we're going to open up the whole of the core and the front body and the shoulders, squeezing the back body and release. Take 2 more of those. So we're drawing up and opening. Stacking the shoulders as we get the arm up above. If anybody finds this too much, just draw your arm up to shoulder height and stretch it out behind you. Last one. Hand to the floor. Bring your right hand outside your right foot. Take your right knee back, swap sides, so come forward on your left foot now. Bring the left hand inside your left foot. Same thing, so 3 openings in your own time. Make it slow. Try and do a count of 4 on your breath. Exhaling the arm down, inhaling the arm up. Use your brick if you need to extend, take support. Help yourself get through these situations when you really don't want to be there. Spread the load. Bring the left hand back down to the floor. I'm going to step back with the left foot. Step forward with the right foot again. Keep up in down dog legs and then turn the right foot and the left foot so that we come to face the long side of your mat. So you're in a forward fold here with your legs wide apart. Wide leg forward fold. So from here, sink your sit bones, bend your knees, bring yourself back up slowly. Then pop your hands on your hip hinges. We're going to take 3 dips here, but we're thinking of keeping the long front body. Keep that core switched on. We're going to move forward, thinking of switching on the whole of the core as if it's holding you back. It's contracting to make sure you don't fall forward. So just come down until you're comfortable. We're not going right down. We're coming to a 90-degree angle is enough. And then switch on your glutes and draw your bottom down and under you to lift back up. Switch on the front body, move forward. Switch on the glutes, move back up. This time switch everything on if you can. Keep the glutes engaged. They'll hold you back, but that resistance is helpful in this case in the pose. And then switch everything on and draw yourself back up to the top. Turn your feet out. We're coming into goddess. So slowly come into goddess now, knees over ankles, remember, feet turned out the way, tummy tucked in and undercarriage rolled forward. That then rebounds into your inner thighs. Think of your heart and your spot between your shoulder blades. So move the heart up, lift it up, draw the shoulders together and slide them down the back of your body. Should be quite easeful in the upper half of your core here. So a lot switched on from your waist down. And obviously your legs are very involved. So when we're easeful, hands on knees, then we're just going to take some side bends. So exhale over to your right, armpit to hip. Inhale back up to the top. Keep that core, the bottom half engaged. Exhale over to the left, armpit to hip. Back up to the top. Keep the tummy tucked, the bottom rolled under. 2 more each side in your own time. So try and make it really even on the contracting and the opening. So think of both sides of your bodies working as you side bend here, both sides of your core. 1 more to the right and left. Bottom half of the body shouldn't really be moving. Might be wobbling, but it won't be moving. Forget the bottom half if you can. Think of the easeful half. Come back up to the top. Press into the feet. Turn the feet forward. Step together so your shoulder distance apart. I'm going to face the long end of the mat now. And then we're just going to roll, tucking the chin, roll down, soften the knees. Come down into a nice soft forward fold. Let the belly hang onto the thighs. Arms can either be clasping your elbows in a square shape, or you can use the floor to support you or bring the bricks in, make it quite easeful. Think of this as your counter pose, your child's pose effectively. And just hang here. Let the front body soften, the whole of the front of the core soften towards your legs. And feel the back body then open. If there's anything sticking, try and focus on it and let it release. Your feet are supporting you here, they're taking the load, so the core can switch off. Okay, so we're coming up into chair from here. So find your stance for chair. You might want feet together, and you might want them hip distance. You can just shuffle about now in this position to find that. And then sink your sit bones down, draw your tummy up off your thighs, move your heart forward, squeeze your shoulder blades together, switch on the whole of the core, press into the feet, keep the knees slightly bent. We're coming up into chair, so we're opening up the front body, zipping it up like it was a coat. So you come up into chair, always feels a little bit awkward with your bottom sticking out so much. Try and tuck the bottom under a little bit by containing the abdominal muscles. Very much engaged. Okay, so hands to heart center. Draw the shoulder blades together again. Tuck the chin, lengthen the back of the neck. Move the weight into the heels so that you're not weighted into your toes. We're just going to take some leg lifts here. So move the weight into your left leg, Lift up your right knee, release. 2 more on that side, right knee up, whoops, and release. Draw the tummy in, draw the heart forward, spread the load, release the right foot, move into the left foot, 3 leg lifts, lift, lower. Much more easeful when you let go. If you can let go of that right thigh a little bit and put the load elsewhere into your core. Move with your hip flexor. And release. Hands out in front of us now, still in chair. If anybody needs to come out of it, then please do stretch your legs and come back into it. Hands out in front of you now, palms facing each other, bottom tuck under again, heart move forward. Take the shoulders back a little bit towards each other. And then lift your right arm up as high as you can, as comfortably high as you can, and back down. Left arm. Breathing in as it goes up, exhaling as it comes down. Focus now on your breath. Inhale as you lift. Exhale as you lower. Maybe try the Ujjayi breath. Inhale as you lift. Exhale as you lower. Spread the load. Inhale as you lift. Exhale as you lower. Last one on the left. Inhale as you lift. Exhale as you lower. Bring the hands to heart center. Gently push into the feet. Straighten the legs slowly. Come back up to the top. So that might feel that you've worked the thighs, which you have done. But if you switch on your core, then you'll take a bit of the weight off your thighs in that position normally. Okay, so we're going to do a couple of side bends here now. So hip distance apart. This is just to sort of as a cool down. But there's a bit of containment here. So do switch on your core again. Collarbones to hip hinges at the back to the top of your collarbones at the back. Switch on, lift up your left arm, inhaling. Exhale, side bend, armpit to hip. Just make it really smooth, really nice and slow and easy. Back up to the top, left arm down, right arm up. Inhaling, extend, remember, and then fold on the exhale to your left. Watch what's happening with your tummy. Draw it in to support your lower back. Your core works all together. So now we're taking both arms up above our head if you're comfortable. You can continue with one arm if you'd rather. Otherwise, hands above your head, palms facing each other. Draw your shoulders back so your arms go out of your peripheral vision. Tuck your tummy and tuck your bottom. Lift your heart, extend. And then gently inhale up and exhale slowly over to your right. Exhaling and squeezing armpit to hip. So quite heavy, very heavy top half here. Push into your right foot. Use the rebound to bring yourself back up to the top. Over to the left. Draw the tummy in, support the lower back. Back up to the top. Once more over to the right. I'm going to hold here if you're comfortable with it for 2 breaths. Hold, watch those arms haven't come forward, move them back. Draw the tummy in, move the bottom forward, tuck it. Hold and breathe. And then press into the right foot, come back up to the top. Going over to the left. Extend first of all, draw the tummy in, lift the heart, and then over to your left. Armpit to hip. Trying to keep the weight square in both feet now. So move the weight back into your right foot. Take the load over to that side. Breathe and extend through your fingers right down to your right foot. And then come back up to the top. Release the shoulders. Give yourself a roll through. Have another little roll down and bring yourself down to the floor to finish today. And have a hold of your brick. We'll need it in a second. So come onto your back first of all. Draw your right knee to your chest slowly. Draw your left knee to your chest slowly. Just have a little squeeze, either hands on the back of your thighs or on your knees, nothing too strong and forceful, just easing out the back of your body. Have a few squeezes in and release. Try to work with the breath, so you'd exhale as you draw your knees towards you, inhale as you let the knees go away. Just slowly releasing any tension through the lower back, squeezing the abdominal muscles, releasing them. And then release the feet to the floor. Take the feet out away from you now and come into 5 stars. So we're reaching out at diagonals here. Hands and legs. Reach through the sole of both feet. Stretch out through the fingers. Open the webs of the hands. Draw the tummy in and let it fall down to the back of your body. Feel that spot between your shoulder blades. Try and spread it open a little bit further as you reach through your shoulders. Reach through the soles of your feet and try and squeeze and then release your glutes. And then draw everything back into center. Optional here, you can stay in Shavasana, or you can take your brick, you can hop your feet back under your hips, under your knees rather, and we're rolling up into supported bridge, if this is your choice. So tucking the pelvic, making your pelvic tilt first of all, and then just gently lift up just high enough to pop the brick under. It can either be in the flat side or on its next level up, but don't go up to the highest level, please. Never do that. It's not good for your lower back. And then release your bottom, the back of your body onto the brick. Take the support. If you're in Shavasana, then just enjoy the support of the floor and what's beneath you. And then find your breath again. Release into your shoulders. Let them spread across the floor. Open your palms up towards the ceiling. Feel the back of your body supported. Feel all those muscles that have been holding on and moving you. Letting go. Rebalancing. So how did you find the class on the mat today? Did you find a way that's easier to get through these things? By taking our mind off what we really dislike and attaching it to something else, when you go back to what you thought you disliked, it doesn't seem so bad. What we're doing is finding the clarity of vidya and losing the foggy glasses. So dislikes are okay, we all have dislikes, but it's when we really get very involved with them. And when we really then take a step back, we can't quite see why we have such a strong opinion. We've attached ourselves to it without really thinking about it. As an example, disliking child poverty is exactly what should be done. But child poverty has been here through the ages. So when you attach that dislike then to one single person, for instance, a politician or whatever, or one single reason, and then won't let go of that being the cause, that being your focus of the dislike, then that's what we're talking about here. You've moved your focus basically from what you want to work on to blaming somebody else. Okay, so with those thoughts in mind today, we've finished our core class, and don't you feel good? So now we're going to come off our bricks. So carefully press into your feet, lift off your bricks if you're in supported bridge. Just bring us back down for a moment onto the floor and stretch your legs away if you can in bridge. Just for a second, have a stretch out. Everybody waking up, find that energy back in the hands, back in the feet, back in the core of the body, which might feel nice and released now, hopefully, and a bit stronger. And hopefully that's what you feel too. When you're ready, we're going to come up to seated again to finish. So take your time, roll over, open your eyes, connect, breathe, find yourself back up in Sukhasana in your own time. So next time that you find yourself using the words which I use all the time, I admit it, I don't like or I hate, which is a really bad word to use, or I can't stand, take a step back and have a look at it and think, is there Dvesha involved here, attachment, and therefore avidya, our foggy glasses, and try and take them off and give them a wipe. Thank you everybody for your class. Namaste.